You're listening to Ages and Stages, where womanhood gets real across every decade. 3 women, 3 life stages, 1 honest conversation. Each episode, we break down one topic, from relationships to career, to motherhood and identity, and how it evolves across the decades. If you've ever wondered whether you're the only one figuring things out, you're not. This is Ages and Stages.
Welcome back to Ages and Stages, where we talk about the honest truth. Real life, real struggles, and everything in between. With your host, I'm Wendy.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Emma.
We're so glad that you're here for another episode of Ages and Stages.
So we're going to kick things off by talking about mental health, since it is Mental Health Awareness Month in May. So I'm just going to start off with a question for each of you. Looking back, what's something you were going through that you didn't recognize as a mental health struggle until a little bit later?
Well, that's a
For
good
me,
one.
it would be my anxiety.
Mm.
I did not realize. I thought anxiety was like what a lot of people think it is. They think it's you're anxious about something. So I never realized I was struggling with anxiety because I'm never anxious about something in particular. I'm just constantly anxious.
So I have a question for you, Lindsay. What was that aha moment where all of a sudden you're just like, maybe this is something else, not just every day?
It was my doctor. I went to my primary care doctor in high school because I had a panic attack. I thought I was having a heart attack. So I went in and saw my doctor, and he was like, well, your foot's shaking nonstop, so let's go ahead and get you on some anxiety medication. But then that started its own battle because you have to find the right medication for you. So I went through years of trying different medications before I found one that worked for me.
Okay. How about for you, Emma?
Wendy, my story is kind of similar. I struggle with anxiety to this day, but I didn't recognize it until later in high school, and then it got really bad in college. And for me, I didn't realize it, but my body was trying to tell me way before I knew what was going on. Sorry, I have a toddler who's upset about taking a bath. But yeah, I had like stomach aches, and I still fidget with my fingers and my thumbnails. Yeah, so I kind of realized after kind of talking to some people that I'm not the only one that does that, and that's a sign of anxiety. So now I kind of understand myself a little bit better. How about you, Wendy?
Well, I think for me, it was actually, because I am a mental health professional, so I believe that maybe it was a little more difficult for me to accept that maybe there was a mental health thing going on with me. But just going through the really long transition and process of a divorce, and how much I was affected by that, and how much I had changed, and how much stress I had. I didn't really have a whole lot of anxiety. I just had those moments where, just going through that process was so different, so hard. Like I was just really stressed and strained during that whole transitional period.
Do you think there's like a stigma around like a therapist, like you're not allowed to have any mental illness? Like, is it harder for you as a doctor in your profession to go seek help when you need it or even think about it?
Well, I can't speak for everybody that's in the profession. I'm only going to speak to myself. And for me, myself personally, I believe that it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. So I'm not opposed to ever talking to a doctor or using my own benefits to do the counseling. It's just that for me, going through the example that I gave, It's like, what part of this, I had a hard time, really differentiating in that personal, very, very personal perspective. What is normal? What is problematic? And what is, like that extreme? At what point does what I'm going through push over to a real mental health issue? So I went ahead and went into counseling myself just for support initially. And it was in my support process, by getting help, I really recognized that maybe there's just a little bit of everything. And when I was going through it, there are some things that have changed a lot in our profession. For example, the only thing that you had back at that time was an unspecified post-traumatic stress disorder, and you had post-traumatic stress, and I didn't have any of those. Now we have an expanded understanding in the profession that prolonged stress can actually qualify, not necessarily as post-traumatic stress, but it can actually explain a lot of what somebody's going through because of an extremely stressful experience that or transition or change that you're going through that doesn't quite fit underneath the symptoms associated with acute stress or post-traumatic stress. That perhaps was why, maybe for me, at that time in my life, it was hard for me to recognize some of the things that were going on.
Yeah, I think one thing I've reflected too, just knowing friends that have also struggled with mental health and being a parent, it's definitely different how you're being raised. Some families are really big about talking about their feelings and mental health and what that looks like. Some families are a bit more uncomfortable with that. I know my family, we're never, against it. Like, we were allowed to have feelings, but we just never talked about it. Like, it was kind of like a taboo subject. So I wonder, growing up and being a parent now, how I'm going to do it a little bit different. And if that would have made a difference for like anxiety, and if I would have recognized it earlier and like helped myself earlier. I don't know. What was it like for you guys growing up?
My house was kind of the same. Like, nobody was gonna tell me not to talk about it by any means, but we also just kind of didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely wasn't something I would have thought was mental illness. I got a lot of teenage hormones, when I was growing up. And I think my parents still think that way a little bit these days. Their generation just still isn't very, what's the word I'm looking for here? They're not very mental health savvy. They didn't know anything about it when they were growing up. So when we were growing up, it was, there's those teenage hormones, and it's like, no, I'm 35 now. Still have
Yep.
Still have the problems.
Well, I think that sometimes people still, in general, get stuck with that. That I hear that like, I must be crazy if I'm coming in and talking to you. And it's like, well, there's no crazy here. Anybody that walks into the clinic, that's not even something that is in my mind anyway. It's definitely on their radar, however. Or I hear patients make comments like, I should be able to figure this out. I hear that with friends, that, this will pass. It's not a big deal. I've heard all kinds of things as far as just how people, like, view mental health personally, maybe in a community, even though we've come a long way within the context of talking about mental health. I don't know. I still think that there's a lot of people that just struggle with, could it be that it's a mental health issue? A lot of people will go to their primary care doctors, the medical doctors, before they'll ever think about calling a therapist or a counselor as a go-to person. Yeah. And on one hand, I really understand that. I have a profound respect and appreciation for that. But what's frustrating is that doctors generally just treat it with medications and they don't push those
Mm-hmm.
referrals to the counselors, the psychologist, or the mental health system. And so people then have that other part that the pill's going to take care of the problem. I still have a lot of patients that, well, my medications aren't working, and so I have to go back and I have to talk to my provider to see if there's something else. But yet, within the context of it, they're also not using a lot of the tools that they could use to help manage that as well. So, I mean, like, I'm not trying to be um, judgmental on anybody. I think that the struggle is just really real within the context of the difficulty some people have, with making that phone call and coming in for counseling services. But it's one of the best things that I honestly think people can do for themselves.
Well, and another thing to add to that is I don't think it's only like, the mental difficulty of making the phone call. Mental health care is just not widely covered by insurance companies and things like that. So it's really hard for some people to seek it out, just financially, especially without a referral or something. And that's something that really should be way more accessible. People need to be able to reach out for therapy and not have to worry about whether they're going to get groceries that week instead.
Yeah, and to add to that too, I mean, what I was thinking while you guys were talking was about like back to like the hormone thing. Like I wonder, and I've had some friends kind of say this, how like they'll go to their primary doctor to say they're really struggling, and then their doctor will say, "Oh, it's just your hormones." Or like if you think about like society as like in general, especially for women, like as soon as we're having any sort of like mental struggle, like oh, you're PMSing, it's your hormones, like instead of being able to like actually find the root of the issue, it's pushed to it's kind of waved off. Like you should deal with it. It's just part of your hormones. Like I don't know. That kind of makes me mad because
Yeah.
I mean we do. There's not a lot of research on women's health. And hormones and how that affects mental health. And but yeah, I think it's tough because you just you're constantly in this mental struggle. Like, is it me? Is it my hormones? Should I seek help? So you're kind of, and then the money thing. So you're like, have all these like factors coming at you. They're telling you like, you should just figure this out on your own. Like, it's not, enough to pay for or anything like that. So I don't know. I thought about like the hormone thing kind of, I don't know. It maybe is
Yeah,
a good topic for discussion too.
absolutely.
Well, I'm going to chime in just a little bit here because to answer some of those questions, there is a lot of research actually out there trying to help explain or guide or direct professionals into the very vast, deep, wide, broad reasons why people just don't feel well. The problem is that so many professionals are not trained, nor are they specialized in that area, and there's not a lot of
Mhm.
communication, which is really too bad.
Yeah, Wendy, I definitely see what you're saying because I would say, right now I'm on 3 different anxiety meds a day, and no one has ever once checked my vitamin B that I'm aware of or done a hormone panel or anything like that. So that could definitely be something that's affecting me as well. I did just recently start taking some natural supplements to try that because I don't want to be on a whole bunch of pills forever. So I am trying other things now to incorporate in with the medicine to see if I can wean down from that. But yeah, and I mean, I just had, even after I had my baby, I told my doctor that my anxiety, I felt like it doubled. They didn't do any kind of testing like that. So,
I don't know if Lindsay, if you've ever gone to therapy, but I have been to therapy before. And I think one thing that surprised me about therapy was like you've seen the movies, it's like you're laying on a couch and someone's staring at you with a notepad, like writing notes down, and it's so serious. For
yeah.
me, therapy was not that way at all. It was very like lighthearted, like it was just like tools. It wasn't like, I don't know, so serious. I don't know. What did you ever go to therapy? What do you think about it?
So I haven't I don't know technically if it's considered therapy or not. I was hospitalized for 5 days as a teenager, and I was supposed to see a therapist like twice a day while I was there. And I saw the guy once the entire time I was hospitalized. So then they had, like group therapy things, and it was basically coloring sessions. We'd color pages about different types of feelings and stuff. It was not helpful at all. But I do realize that that is not traditional therapy. That is, I don't even know what to call it. It's like corporate therapy, I guess.
Yeah.
It was more like a punishment than it was
Oh.
a therapy. And I mean, there was one kid I was in there with who literally said, when they did a group and they're like, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Well, I had to choose here or jail." So he came for jail, and instead of jail. And yeah, and they let me out 5 days later. A totally different doctor, not the one that I was supposed to be seeing and never saw the whole time. And he was like, "Yeah, I think you're fine." And they put me on some med that completely knocked me out, that I stopped taking, 2 months after being there. And
Do you think that like that experience like turned you off from therapy? Like kind of put a bad taste in your mouth about it?
no, I don't think so, because I kind of knew what that place was. And,
Okay.
and don't get me wrong, my parents were doing what they thought was right and what they thought was best.
Right.
I don't have any ill thoughts towards them on it. I mean, my mom still is like, "I didn't know." She's like, "I thought you were seeing a therapist every day."
Mm-hmm.
But it just, the place has a bad reputation, if they're even still open. I don't even
Yeah.
know if they're still open. But yeah, it wasn't anything good. It was one of those places where, like, "Oh, you act up, you get tranquilized and put in this room." And it's like, these are teenage, some of them not even teenagers, we're talking preteen kids. Like, calm
Oh my
down.
gosh.
Like,
Yikes.
it's okay.
Oh, I think there is something to be said though about finding the right therapist for you. You know, like it's okay to
Yes.
not have a great experience or like not vibe with a therapist and try multiple to see who can suit you the best. Because really it's about you. You know, your therapist might be, your therapist, a good one is going to look out for your best intentions. So if it's not them and it's someone else, like great,
Yeah,
so it's
I've
okay
heard
to go
that a
through a
lot,
couple.
that you have to just find the person that you vibe with too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So another question for you guys. What is one thing about mental health that you wish someone told you when you were 18, 25, 30, whatever the age, but what's something you wish someone told you sooner in your life?
To just address it. It's not gonna just go away.
Or,
Yeah.
or yeah. I would say that there are tools to help you. Like you don't always have to feel um the way you feel. There's lots of people that are qualified to help you understand yourself and to understand what can make you feel better day to day. And a lot of people are just like you. You're not alone. You're not crazy. You're not weak for feeling the way you do. Have you guys ever got any advice that was like the other direction, like it wasn't helpful at all, or it was actually like harmful, or just really bad advice that you've heard about mental health?
Oh yeah. Just get over it. Gee, I hadn't thought of that. Like, just calm down.
Yeah, that's a big one for me too. Like I remember being super anxious and I can't remember who was there, but one of my friends and it was a guy who seemingly was really well and he was like, just don't stress out about it. Like it'll be fine. Like just calm down. I'm like, don't you think I've thought about that? Like I would love to. If I could, I would.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's this sense of like the strong woman burden that a lot of women have. You know, you're supposed to be the strong character for your kids and for yourself, and you're supposed to show up all the time and be this high level functioning person all the time. You know, you got to be strong all the time, and that's just like impossible for anyone at any age, any standard. Like that's just, it's okay to be imperfect.
Well, and we're kind of always fighting the stigma too, that, it's just women, they're hysterical, they are emotional, and they jump to conclusions. And it's like,
Mhm.
you have no idea what's going on in our brains 24/7.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in charge of a lot. I mean, most women Yeah, most women are in charge of, working, expected to work, or taking care of their children, or scheduling, or housekeeping, cooking, or organizing, all those things all together all at the same time. So I
Mhm.
think just telling women that you're so emotional or just to, knock it off or like, oh, I just can't stand it.
Must be on your period.
Must be on your period. That's a big one. That
Yeah.
irks me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. So, okay, so as you guys are a little bit more seasoned and a little bit older, what is your definition of like being okay? Like, what does like being okay look like for you guys?
I'll let you know when I find out.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
honestly, uh,
Do you think there's any way, kind of jumping back and tying some things together to like advocate for yourself as someone that's trying to like go like through the medical aspect and try to find the right therapist and try to figure out how to pay for therapy and try to juggle all these things and wear all the hats all at the same time? Like, what's some good strategies to advocate for yourself and not, let yourself down and help yourself out, not make it so damn hard.
I haven't gone through, the insurance and all that trying to get to therapy, but I will just say, like, in my personal life, it's just kind of been being honest about it. Like, there are days when my anxiety is through the roof and I'm super irritable, and I'll just say that to Ryan. I'm like, I am not having a good day. Just so you're aware, this is what's going on. So please know that,
Mhm.
if I'm short with you, it's not because of you.
Like, I will shove it all down, I will do it all, and I will burn myself out until I just pop. And then I'm just not a nice person to myself, to others. Like, I just completely just like lose it. So just, yeah, the all the time doing it all, like I need to do a better job of saying, hey, like I need help this way, or I need a break, or like Lindsay, I like how you said like, hey, I've had a tough day, like letting you know, like just being honest about it right up front.
Yeah, the other thing too, Emma, is sometimes it just doesn't get done that day. Like,
Yeah, that's
there are
hard
days
too.
I don't do the dishes. They sit in the
Hmm.
sink because it's not getting done today. I actually really like to do a lot of different self care. I do like essential oils, aromatherapy, baths are my big thing. I try to make sure I have a cup of hot tea every night now. It used to be, a glass or two of wine, and now I'm switching that to tea to try to help myself just chill before bed. So, and I've got my CPAP, so I'm trying to sleep better and trying to wake up at consistent times. Got a whole list of things. I also, this is just a little app that I found. It's Finch. So I don't know if you're old enough, Emma. Do you remember Tamagotchis?
No, I don't.
It was just this little like pocket Game Boy thing, but it was an animal you had to take care of every day to keep it alive. So Finch is like
Okay.
that, but the way that you keep it alive is by doing like self-care techniques or deep breathing exercises or journaling. Like, you can set different goals for yourself to check off every day, and that's how you take care of your Finch. And I think it's just a really great app. I have it. I don't
That's
utilize it as much
genius.
as I should, but it's great.
I should check that out. That is genius. Oh my gosh, I love that. I could
Your
totally
little
do that.
sister has it. I
Does
sent
she? Of course. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm kind of like you, Lindsay, though. Like, I love self-care. I love a good bubble bath. I also love hot tea. I've been getting into hot tea as well, just to like calm everything down.
Mhm.
I'm a reader. I like to read or like listen to an audiobook. And then my biggest thing that really makes a difference, like if I'm really in a rut, I go for a walk. Like even if it's like literally around my apartment, like something as small as just like getting outside, seeing, instead of my four walls, like seeing trees and the sky and just fresh air and just it just kind of resets my body a little bit. Like it can just relax, like really relax and just either for myself just for a moment, really just I don't know, it's something I
Oh,
love to do.
I love to read, but T would never allow it. I've tried. Now that she's a little bit older, I'm like, okay, you can watch your show for a little bit and all. And she's like, book, 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 book. And I'm like,
Look,
I can't read this book to you. This is about a serial killer. We're not gonna.
Have you guys ever had like a happy place? I know it sounds kind of silly, but like you see it on movies, like people go like to their happy place and it's kind of like funny. But recently I've actually tried it. Like if I'm really like if my toddler has a tantrum and I'm just like at my limit, like you just go to like a happy memory. Like for me, it's like one of the vacations I went on, like I was just sitting on the beach and I can remember like my hands are in the sand and I can just feel the warm sun and the waves. And I think that's really helpful for me because anxiety, it's really a good grounding technique for me also, but it also just puts me in a good mood. I never thought about actually trying it. I just thought it was just something people just talked about or did in movies, like I said. But I don't know. Maybe that's something that people can try too, is like actually finding a happy place, especially if you have anxiety.
I've done it. Yep, for sure. It's also a beach, except it's an island, and my whole family was there, and like we were just tossing around a football and waiting on the water, and that's it.
See, even just talking about it, like, oh, that
Uh,
just it sounds so
there you
nice.
go. There's your number one mental health advice. Go find you a lazy river.
Go find a lazy river. Go to your happy place. Thank you for everyone for tuning in this week. We were so happy to talk about mental health. Feel free to send us an email or comment on our YouTube page or wherever. If you have any ideas for stuff for us to talk about, we'd be happy to. And have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for spending this time with us on Ages and Stages. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with a friend who might need it too. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. You can follow us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube for more behind-the-scenes moment and updates between episodes. Wherever you are in life, your stage matters, and we're so glad you're here. We'll see you next time.